My child, stop everything. I need your complete attention for what I am about to reveal to you. What I am going to say will change the way you see your entire life. It will rewrite the story you have been telling yourself about why you are still here. And when you hear it, you will weep. Not from sadness, from understanding. There is a reason you are still alive today. A reason you survived things that should have destroyed you. A reason you are breathing right now, listening to these words, still standing after everything that has tried to knock you down. And that reason is not your own strength. It is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is your mother's prayers. Your mother prayed for you. She prayed for you more than you will ever know, more than she will ever tell you, more than you could ever imagine. In the quiet moments before dawn, when the rest of the house was asleep, she was awake, on her knees, whispering your name to me with a desperation that only a mother's heart can produce. And those prayers, every single one of them reached my ears. And I answered, "Do not skip this message. I know you think this might not apply to you. I know some of you have complicated relationships with your mothers. I know some of you have mothers who are no longer here. But I need you to stay, because what I am about to say covers every situation, every pain, every story. And by the end, you will understand something about your life that you have never understood before. So stay with me, from the very first word to the very last. This message was not placed in front of you by accident. I arranged it, I timed it, and I need you to receive it completely. Let me take you back to a moment you do not remember, a moment before your memory began. Your mother held you for the first time. You were small enough to fit in her arms, fragile enough that she was afraid to hold you too tightly. And in that moment, before you could speak, before you could walk, before you knew anything about this world, she looked down at your face and made a promise. Not to you, to me. She whispered it so quietly that no one else in the room heard it. She said, "God, protect this child. Whatever it takes, whatever it costs me, keep this child safe." And I heard her. And I have been honoring that prayer every single day of your life since. You have no idea how many times your mother's prayers saved you. No idea. There were moments in your life when disaster was inches away from you, when the car swerved at the last second, when the illness that should have taken you suddenly retreated, when the danger that was circling your life was turned away by a force you could not see. You thought it was luck. You thought it was timing. It was neither. It was your mother, on her knees in another room, another city, maybe another country, calling out your name to heaven, and heaven responding. There was a night I'm going to tell you about it, because you need to know when the enemy had a plan for your life that would have ended everything. An accident that was designed to take you, a situation that was engineered to destroy you. And at the exact moment that plan was being set in motion, your mother woke up in the middle of the night with a burden on her heart so heavy she could barely breathe. She did not know why. She had no logical explanation for the sudden panic that gripped her chest. But she knew what to do. She got on her knees beside her bed, and she prayed your name over and over and over until the burden lifted. She did not know that in that exact moment, on the other side of the situation, the enemy's plan was crumbling. She did not know that her prayer had dispatched angels to stand between you and destruction. She simply obeyed the urgency in her spirit, and that obedience saved your life. You never thanked her for that night because you never knew about it. She never told you because she did not fully understand it herself. But I knew. I orchestrated the whole thing. I woke her up. I placed the burden on her heart. Because I knew that when a mother prays in the midnight hour with that kind of desperation, The gates of hell cannot prevail. I need to show you what you never saw. The prayers that happened behind closed doors. The intercession that was waged in secret while you lived your life unaware that a war was being fought on your behalf. I saw your mother pray for you when you were a child, and a fever gripped your body so tightly that she thought she might lose you. She sat beside your bed all night, pressing cold cloths to your forehead with one hand and pressing her other hand against her own chest, trying to hold her own heart together. She prayed through the fear. She prayed through the panic. She prayed until the fever broke. And when you woke up the next morning, healthy and hungry, and oblivious to what had happened, she stood in the kitchen making your breakfast with tears still drying on her face. You never knew. But I was there. I saw it all. I saw your mother pray for you when you started making choices that terrified her. When you walked down roads she knew would lead to pain. When you surrounded yourself with people she could see were dangerous, even though you could not. She wanted to grab you and hold you and force you to listen. But she knew she could not control your choices, so instead, she fell to her knees and gave your choices to me. She said, "God, I cannot reach my child right now, but you can. Please go where I cannot go. Protect them from what I cannot protect them from." And I went. And I did. I saw your mother pray for you during the season when you were far from me. When you stopped believing. When you stopped praying. When you walked away from faith and told yourself you did not need me anymore. Your mother felt that distance like a knife in her chest. It kept her up at night. It stole her appetite. It aged her face in ways that had nothing to do with years and everything to do with heartbreak. But she never stopped praying. Not for one day. Not for 1 hour. Even when you turned your back on me, she stood in the gap between us and refused to let go of either side. She held on to me with one hand and onto you with the other, and she would not release her grip, no matter how heavy the weight became. That is why you are hearing this right now. That is why, despite everything, something in your spirit still responds when you hear my voice. Your mother's prayers kept the door open, even when you slammed it shut. Her prayers wedged it open just enough for my light to keep reaching you. And here you are, listening, still connected, still reachable, because a woman who loves you refused to stop talking to me about you. I saw your mother pray for you when her own life was falling apart, when she was dealing with her own pain, her own heartbreak, her own struggles that she never told you about, when she was exhausted and overwhelmed and barely holding herself together. Even then, especially then, she prayed for you before she prayed for herself. Your needs came before hers, your safety before her comfort, your future before her present. That is not human love, my child. That is a reflection of my love, poured into a mother's heart and multiplied beyond anything the natural world can produce. I saw her pray for you when you did not deserve it, when your words had been sharp and your attitude had been cold, when you rolled your eyes at her concern and slammed the door on her love, when you said things that cut her in ways you will never fully understand. She went to her room after those moments. She sat on the edge of her bed, and she did not pray for me to punish you. She did not pray for me to teach you a lesson. She prayed, "God, forgive my child. They do not know what they are doing. Protect them anyway. Bless them anyway. Love them anyway. Even now, even after what they said, even after how they made me feel. Do not take your hand off my child." Do you understand the weight of that? She prayed blessings over the very person who had just caused her pain. She asked me to protect the very heart that had just wounded hers. That is not natural. That is supernatural. That is the kind of love I designed specifically for mothers. A love that does not keep score, does not hold grudges, and does not withdraw when it is hurt. It just keeps praying. It just keeps believing. It just keeps showing up at the throne of grace with your name on her lips. I saw your mother pray for you on holidays when you did not come home. When the chair at the table was empty and the phone did not ring. She sat in that silence and felt the distance between you like a physical ache in her body. But she did not fill the silence with bitterness. She filled it with prayer. She said, God, wherever my child is tonight, be with them. Keep them safe. Bring them home, maybe not to my table, but to your arms. And I honored that prayer. I always honor the prayers of a broken-hearted mother. If your mother is still alive and she prayed for you, comment, "Thank you, Mama," right now. Let heaven record your gratitude. Let your mother's prayers be honored in this moment. I know that some of you listening right now have a complicated relationship with your mother. Perhaps she was not perfect. Perhaps she made mistakes that caused you pain. Perhaps there are wounds between you that have never healed. Words that were said that can never be taken back. Distances that feel impossible to bridge. I see those wounds. I know they are real. I am not asking you to pretend they do not exist. But I need you to understand something that might be difficult to hear. Even imperfect mothers pray. Even mothers who got things wrong still fell to their knees in private and begged me to protect the child they did not always know how to love correctly. Her methods may have been flawed. Her words may have been hurtful at times. Her presence may have been inconsistent. But her prayers were pure. Because when a mother talks to me about her child, all pretense falls away. All pride dissolves. And what is left is the rawest, most honest form of love that exists in the human experience. Your mother may not have known how to show you love in the way you needed, but she knew how to ask me to show you love in the way she could not. And I honored that prayer every time. And to those of you whose mothers have passed from this earth, I need you to hear something that will bring both tears and comfort to your heart in the same breath. Your mother's prayers did not die with her. Let me say that again, so it reaches the deepest part of your spirit. Your mother's prayers did not die when she died. Prayers spoken in faith do not have an expiration date. They do not dissolve when the mouth that spoke them stops breathing. They are stored in heaven. They are written in my book. They continue to work, continue to protect, continue to move on your behalf long after the one who prayed them has come home to me. I know some of you felt a shift in your life when your mother passed, a feeling that the spiritual covering had been lifted, a sense that you were suddenly more exposed, more vulnerable, more alone in a world that already felt overwhelming. You could not explain it, but you felt it. Let me put that fear to rest right now. The covering did not lift. The prayers your mother deposited in heaven are still active. They are still working. They are still being honored. She may no longer be kneeling beside her bed on earth, but every prayer she ever prayed from that position is standing at full height in the heavenly realm, as powerful today as the moment it left her lips. Prayer does not weaken with time, it compounds. And your mother had a lifetime's worth of compound prayers invested in your future. Your mother is with me now. And if you could see her face, you would see a woman at peace. A woman who is no longer burdened by the worry she carried for you on earth. A woman who can see, from heaven's perspective, every prayer she ever prayed being answered in ways she could not have imagined while she was alive. She sees you right now. She sees you listening to this message. And she is smiling. Because this moment right here is one of her prayers being answered. I know you miss her. I know there are days when the absence is so heavy that you can barely function. When you pick up the phone to call her before you remember. When you hear her favorite song and the tears come so fast you cannot stop them. When you dream about her and wake up reaching for someone who is no longer there. I see those moments, and in each one I am there, holding both of you, holding you in this world, and holding her in the next. And the love between you has not been broken. It has simply changed form. It is no longer expressed in phone calls and visits. It is expressed in prayers that echo and blessings that arrive, and a divine connection that even death cannot sever. She prayed that you would hear my voice. She prayed that you would come back to me. She prayed that no matter how far you wandered, no matter how lost you felt, my love would find you. And here it is, finding you, right now, in this moment, because of her. I want you to understand something about the way prayer works in the spiritual realm. When a mother prays for her child, something happens in heaven that does not happen with any other kind of prayer. The angels lean in. The atmosphere shifts, because there is an authority in a mother's prayer that is unlike any other authority on earth. It is not louder than other prayers. It is deeper. It carries a weight that comes from a love so pure, so selfless, so completely devoted, that heaven itself treats it with special honor. Your mother may never have preached a sermon. She may never have led a church, or written a book, or spoken on a stage. But she did something that shook the foundations of the spiritual world. She prayed for her child. And that single act of faith, repeated thousands of times over the course of your life, has built a fortress around you that you cannot see, but the enemy absolutely can. He sees it. He fears it. And he knows that as long as those prayers stand, there are limits to what he can do in your life. Do not skip ahead. Do not leave. What I am about to declare over your life carries the weight of every prayer your mother ever prayed. Stay with me, my child. Now let me tell you what your mother's prayers have unlocked. Because every prayer she whispered was a seed planted in heavenly soil. And those seeds have been growing in the invisible realm, waiting for this season, your season, to break through the surface and bloom. I am releasing a covering of protection over your life that no weapon can penetrate. Your mother asked me to keep you safe, and I am honoring that prayer with a shield that surrounds you on every side. The dangers you do not see, I am blocking. The accidents that were scheduled for your path, I am rerouting. The attacks that the enemy had planned for this season of your life, I am dismantling before they ever reach you. You are covered, not because of your own righteousness, but because a mother's prayer carries an authority in heaven that few forces can override. I am opening doors of provision that your mother prayed about when you did not even know she was praying. The financial breakthrough you have been waiting for, she asked me for it on your behalf years ago. The career opportunity, the business idea, the unexpected blessing, these are not random. These are delayed answers to prayers she prayed when you were too young to pray for yourself. And now that the timing is right, I am releasing them into your life one by one. I am healing wounds that your mother begged me to heal. She saw the pain you carried even when you tried to hide it. A mother sees through walls that the rest of the world cannot penetrate. She knew about the loneliness. She knew about the doubt. She knew about the self-hatred and the fear and the shame. And she brought every one of those burdens to me in prayer, one by one, like a woman carrying stones from her child's path so they would have a smoother road to walk. Some of those wounds she knew about because she caused them. And that is the prayer that cost her the most. The prayer where she asked me to heal the damage that her own imperfections had inflicted on you. Where she said, God, I know I failed. I know I was not the mother I should have been in every moment. I know there are scars on my child's heart that have my fingerprints on them. Please heal what I broke. Please restore what my limitations damaged. Please do for my child what I could not do. Those prayers were soaked in a kind of guilt and love that only a mother knows, and I honored every one of them, because a prayer born from that depth of honest, humble love has a power that shakes the heavens. And now, I am completing that healing. The stones she could not remove, I am removing. The wounds she could not reach, I am reaching. The brokenness she could only pray about, I am repairing. Both the wounds the world gave you and the wounds that came from the complicated, imperfect, but fiercely devoted love of the woman who raised you. I am sending love into your life that reflects the love your mother asked me to give you. She prayed for your future spouse. She prayed for friendships that would strengthen you. She prayed for mentors who would guide you. She prayed for community that would hold you up when your own legs were too weak to stand. And those prayers are being answered. The right people are being positioned in your life right now, drawn by a force they do not understand, connected to you by threads that were woven in the prayer closet of a woman who loved you more than she loved her own life. I am restoring the years that were stolen, the years of confusion, the years of wandering, the years when you were far from me and making choices that cost you dearly. Your mother prayed for restoration during those years. She prayed that nothing would be wasted, that even the mistakes would be redeemed, that even the worst chapters would somehow serve the story I was writing for your life. And I am honoring that prayer. Every lost year is being returned to you, not as a repeat, but as a reward. Double for your trouble, beauty for your ashes, joy for your mourning. This is what your mother's faith has purchased for your future. I am giving you the strength to become the person she always saw in you. Your mother looked at you and saw potential that you could not see in yourself. When the world told you that you were not enough, she saw someone extraordinary. When you looked in the mirror and saw failure, she saw a masterpiece that was still being painted. She did not see who you were in your worst moments. She saw who I created you to become, and she prayed for that version of you with a faith so stubborn, so relentless, so immovable, that even the gates of hell could not prevail against it. I am also fulfilling the prayers she never got to finish, the ones that were still on her lips when she fell asleep, the ones she was forming in her heart on the last day of her life, the ones she meant to pray but ran out of time for. I heard those too, because I do not just hear the words that are spoken, I hear the intentions of the heart. And your mother's heart was so full of prayers for you that even the unspoken ones registered in heaven like thunder. If these words are reaching deep into your heart right now, if you can feel the weight of your mother's love pressing against your chest, type, "Her prayers saved me," in the comments. Let heaven see your declaration. Let your mother's sacrifice be honored. But my child, I must speak a warning now, because with this revelation comes a responsibility that I need you to understand. Your mother paid a price for your life, not with money, with years of worry, with sleepless nights, with tears she cried when no one was watching, with pieces of her own health that she sacrificed on the altar of intercession for you. Her prayers were not casual, they were costly. Every time she knelt down and lifted your name to heaven, she was spending something: her energy, her peace, her time, her tears. And she spent it willingly, without complaint, without keeping a record, without ever expecting repayment. The enemy would love for you to waste what her prayers purchased. He would love for you to hear this message, feel the emotion, maybe shed a tear, and then go back to living the same way you were living before. He would love for your mother's sacrifice to be for nothing. for her sleepless nights to be forgotten, for her tears to be in vain. He will try to steal this word from you before the day is over. He will send distractions. He will stir up old patterns. He will whisper that this was just another emotional video that will not change anything. He will remind you of all the times you felt inspired and then fell back into the same cycle. And he will use that history to convince you that this time will be no different. But this time is different. Because this time, you did not just hear a motivational message. You heard the truth about why you are still alive. You heard the revelation of a sacrifice that was made on your behalf in secret, in silence, in tears, by the one person on earth who loves you with a love that mirrors my own. And that kind of truth does not fade with time. It takes root. It grows. It changes the very foundation of how you see your life. Do not let that happen. Do not dishonor the price she paid by living a life that is smaller than what she prayed for. She did not pray for you to merely survive. She prayed for you to thrive. She did not pray for you to just get by. She prayed for you to walk in the fullness of everything I have planned for you. She did not pray for you to settle. She prayed for you to soar. When the enemy comes with his temptations and distractions, and he will come, I want you to remember the image of your mother on her knees at midnight, whispering your name with tears streaming down her face. Let that image be your armor. Let the memory of her sacrifice be the strength that helps you say no to what is easy, and yes to what is right. You are not just fighting for yourself anymore. You are fighting for the legacy of every prayer she ever prayed. Guard what her prayers have given you. Do not take it lightly. Do not treat it casually. The covering you walk under, the protection that surrounds you, the doors that are opening, the healing that is flowing, all of it was purchased by a love so deep that it moved heaven itself. Honor it. Protect it. Live up to it. Not perfectly. I am not asking for perfection. I am asking for intention. Wake up every day and choose to be the person your mother saw when she closed her eyes and prayed. Type, "I will make her proud" if you are ready to honor the prayers that saved your life. Let the enemy hear your commitment. Let heaven record your promise. My child, as this message draws to a close, I want to speak directly to the deepest part of your heart. The part that still hears your mother's voice. The part that still remembers how it felt to be held by her, to be safe in her presence, to know that no matter what the world did to you, there was one person who would never stop fighting for you. If your mother is still alive, I am asking you to do something after this message ends. Call her, visit her, send her a message. Not tomorrow, not next week, today, right now. Before you do anything else, tell her you love her. Tell her you know. Tell her that her prayers were not wasted. Tell her that God told you that I told you that the reason you are still here is because she never stopped praying. You do not know how many days you have left with her. Do not assume there will always be more time. There may not be. Honor her now, while her ears can still hear you say thank you, while her arms can still hold you, while her heart can still feel the joy of knowing that her sacrifice mattered. I know some of you are thinking, but we have not spoken in months. I know some of you are remembering harsh words and slammed doors and distance that feels like an ocean. But I am telling you one phone call, one message, 3 words. I love you, Mom. Those 3 words will undo years of distance in a single moment. They will heal wounds that therapy could not reach. They will give her something she has been praying for, even more than your success, the knowledge that her child still loves her. Make the call. Send the message. Do not let pride steal what prayer has been trying to restore. If your mother has passed, I want you to know that she hears you too. Not through human ears, but through the connection that transcends death. Speak to her tonight. Whisper into the silence. Tell her you understand now. Tell her you are going to live a life worthy of her prayers. She will hear you, and she will smile. And the angels around her will rejoice, because the seeds she planted in prayer are finally, beautifully, magnificently bearing fruit. You are here because she prayed. You survived because she prayed. You are hearing my voice right now because she prayed. And the life I am about to unfold before you, the blessings, the healing, the purpose, the joy, all of it exists because one woman loved you enough to fight for you on her knees when you could not fight for yourself. That is a mother's love. It is the closest thing on earth to my love, and it is the reason you are still standing. So stand tall, stand strong, stand worthy, not because you are perfect, but because someone believed in you when you did not believe in yourself. Someone prayed for you when you did not pray for yourself. Someone loved you when you did not love yourself. And that someone's prayers are still echoing in the halls of heaven, still moving mountains, still opening doors, still protecting you today. You are a living, breathing answer to prayer. Your existence is proof that prayer works. Your survival is testimony that a mother's love, combined with my power, is an unstoppable force that nothing in all of creation can defeat. There are people in this world who debate whether prayer makes a difference. There are skeptics who ask for evidence that prayer works. You are the evidence. Your heartbeat is the evidence. The fact that you are still here after everything the enemy threw at you is the evidence. Every breath you take is proof that a mother's prayer, spoken in faith, heard by a faithful God, can move mountains, part seas, slay giants, and keep a child alive when every force of hell was working to ensure they would not make it. You are here. You are the proof, and your life will continue to be the proof for as long as you live. And I, the God who hears every prayer, who honors every tear, who remembers every whispered name spoken in the midnight hour, I am telling you today, your mother's prayers are the reason you are still here. And I will continue to honor them for the rest of your life and beyond. When you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, her prayers will be the rod and staff that comfort you. When you face your greatest battle, her prayers will be the armor you did not know you were wearing. When you stand at the edge of your breakthrough, and the enemy throws everything he has at you to make you turn back, her prayers will be the invisible wall that stands between you and destruction. She built that wall, one prayer at a time, one tear at a time, one sleepless night at a time, and it will never fall. This is my promise to you, and this is my tribute to her. Amen. Now, my child, there is someone listening right now who needs to hear this message. Someone who has lost their mother and feels the weight of that absence every single day. Someone whose mother is still alive, but they have not spoken in months because of pride or pain or distance. Someone who is a mother right now, praying for their own child, wondering if those prayers even matter. I want to speak to that mother for just a moment. If you are a mother listening to this, and you have been praying for your child, your prayers matter. I hear them. I honor them. They are not falling on deaf ears. Your child may not show it. They may not acknowledge it. They may even resist it. But your prayers are building walls of protection, opening doors of opportunity, and keeping alive a spiritual connection that the enemy desperately wants to sever. Do not stop. Do not grow weary. Do not let discouragement silence the most powerful voice your child has in the heavenly realm. Keep praying. I am listening, and I am moving. Now share this message. You know who needs to hear it. Their face appeared in your mind the moment I said it. Share this message with them right now. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Let them know that a mother's prayers are never wasted. Be the messenger. Share this, and watch the healing multiply from one heart to another, until every mother and every child knows the truth. Prayer changes everything. And if this message shook something loose inside your soul, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. I have more to say to you. Your mother's prayers brought you here. But this is only the beginning of what I have planned for you.